Welcome, curious learners, to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into the very beginning of one of the greatest fantasy stories ever told, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring.
That's right.
You've given us some fantastic insights right from the text itself, and well, our mission today is to dig past the familiar story. We want to find those crucial bits, those surprising facts, maybe some aha moments you might miss on a casual read.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a story so many people know or think they know inside out.
Exactly. So get ready to go a bit deeper and hopefully really understand the foundations of this incredible world.
It's going to be fascinating. We'll look at Tolkien's incredible attention to detail, especially with language,
Right.
and the surprising courage you find in the Shire, the shadows gathering over Middle-earth, and of course how that unlikely fellowship actually came together.
Sounds great. Prepare to be, well, maybe even more impressed by the genius behind it all. So let's start at the start, really. The book itself, published in 1954. You'd think it was smooth sailing, but Tolkien had quite a fight on his hands with publishing, didn't he?
He really did. It's quite something. He called printers' errors, and especially these well-intentioned corrections, a continual problem.
And not just typos, right? This was fundamental for him.
Precisely. It wasn't just about spelling. It was about the actual integrity of the world he'd built.
You see examples like printers changing dwarves to dwarfs or elvish to elfish.
Yeah.
For most writers, maybe annoying, but stylistic. For Tolkien, though, with his invented languages, his delicately constructed nomenclature.
It completely undermined it. He felt these changes impeded understanding and appreciation. Just how central language was. It wasn't just description, it was the world, in a way.
That level of detail is staggering. Changing one letter could, for him, corrupt the reality he'd made.
Absolutely. And, his readers got it. The text mentions people writing to him in his invented languages even before the final book was out.
Wow, that
Yeah.
early?
Yeah. Shows the kind of deep engagement he inspired and why that linguistic precision mattered so much.
That's incredible dedication from both sides. Now, despite those headaches, Tolkien did have a unique advantage, didn't he? This privilege of revision.
He did. A real luxury few authors enjoy, as the source puts it. He got multiple chances not just to fix errors, but to actually improve and expand the text.
So he kept developing Middle-earth languages, geography, the peoples.
Exactly, over years. You see this refinement in later editions, like the 50th anniversary one from 2002. They used electronic texts and research to track all the changes, the variations.
Which must have been needed after, what, 18 years of writing?
18 years. Of course, there were inconsistencies. Though interestingly, his son Christopher pointed out that some things that look like mistakes, like using lowercase house versus capital house for a noble family,
Oh, right.
they might have actually been deliberate choices by Tolkien for emphasis. Subtle nuances.
It just shows how layered it all is. Every little detail potentially matters. But speaking of meaning, allegory. That always comes up with Tolkien.
Yeah, and it's something he felt very strongly about. He was really adamant, stating the work is neither allegorical nor topical, no hidden inner meaning or message.
That's a pretty firm rejection, especially when people try to map, say, the scouring of the Shire onto post-war Britain.
Right. But Tolkien insisted that scene was foreseen from the outset. He said the only sort of slender basis was his own childhood memory of the countryside being shabbily destroyed before I was 10.
Not contemporary events, then.
No. He wanted the story to grow organically, to put down roots into the past and throw out unexpected branches from its own logic, its own choices, not from some external allegorical framework.
But that's a really important distinction for understanding his creation, isn't it? It's its own thing.
Completely. A self-contained world. And that world for the reader really begins in, well, the most unexpected place, with the hobbits.
Exactly. If you expect epic heroes for epic stakes, Tolkien flips that right away. He puts the world's fate into the hands of, well, hobbits. Initially just a people of very little importance.
Living quietly, unnoticed, for many long years before other folk became even aware of them.
And what's interesting is their backstory, which often gets glossed over. They weren't always in the Shire.
No, the earliest tales suggest they lived way back in the upper vales of Anduin. They moved west because of multiplying of men and that shadow that fell on the forest. Mirkwood, basically.
So even early on, they were seeking peace, moving away from conflict.
It seems like their nature.
Yeah.
And settling the Shire, crossing the Brandywine River, that's year one in their calendar, created this cozy, rich and kindly place.
Where they just got on with their well-ordered business of living, mostly unaware of the dark things outside. They kind of forgot how sheltered they were.
Their whole culture reflects it. They're not warlike. The last battle in the Shire was SR 1147, beyond living memory. Weapons were just curiosities, mathams.
And that term, Shire Reckoning, SR, it even emphasizes how self-contained their little world was, right? Running on its own clock.
Totally. Even their birthday custom, giving presents to others on your own birthday.
Ah, yeah. Making every day in the year somebody's birthday.
It just captures that communal, generous, slightly inward-looking vibe perfectly.
It's charming, but that very isolation is what makes Bilbo's big party, his 11st birthday, such a shock to the system.
Definitely. Gandalf's amazing fireworks, those scintillating birds, the huge red golden dragon, they feel almost like a foreshadowing of the epic scale about to crash into their quiet lives.
While the hobbits are just enjoying the show.
Exactly. And Bilbo's dramatic exit, using the ring for his little joke, that was the spark.
It wasn't just a joke, though, was it? It revealed something darker.
It did. It forced Bilbo to lie about how he got the ring, and that lie mirrored Gollum's own birthday present claim. Gandalf picked up on that immediately. He saw the ring's unwholesome power.
Making Frodo inheriting it feel almost inevitable and much more ominous.
And the stakes jump massively when Gandalf comes back 9 years later. Suddenly it's talk of Mordor rising and the Dark Tower being rebuilt, orcs and trolls multiplying.
And the Black Riders, the ring rapes, they've arisen again, that ancient evil suddenly knocking on the Shire's door. It's a huge shift.
It's a massive contrast to their sheltered lives. So Frodo has to leave. Gandalf stresses the secrecy, the danger.
And then there's Sam. Poor Sam, just eavesdropping accidentally.
Yeah, overhearing talk of an enemy and rings and Mr. Bilbo, sir, and dragons and a fiery mountain. But his loyalty and that simple, honest wish just to see elves?
It turns that accident into destiny, really. He has to go.
He absolutely does.
So they leave the Shire's comfort behind, and things get dangerous fast. I love the efficient conspiracy of Merry and Pippin getting ponies and supplies ready for Frodo's move to Crickhollow.
It shows a surprising resourcefulness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Beyond the stereotype of lazy hobbits.
Definitely. And poor Fatty Bulger, the decoy, blowing the horn call of Buckland, something not heard in 100 years when the riders attack. It really ramps up the tension.
And the fact the riders rode down the guards at the gate and vanished after finding the house empty just confirms how real the danger was and how smart the hobbits' plan had been.
Then they plunge into the old forest. That's a shift. The abominable forest where trees move.
Yeah, and Old Man Willow trapping Merry and Pippin. It introduces this idea of nature itself being ancient, powerful, and sometimes, well, hostile.
Until Tom Bombadil shows up. Cheerful, yellow boots, blue jacket. Quite the entrance.
And his rescue, singing the tree into releasing them. It establishes him as this incredibly powerful, unique figure, almost like an elemental spirit.
Right. Seemingly immune to the ring, but also importantly limited.
That's key. His warning later after the Barrow-Downs rescue.
Ah, yes, the Barrow-wights, another terrifying encounter.
Truly chilling. Frodo finding himself trapped in a burrow, that cold incantation.
Cold be hand and heart and bone. Shivers.
But Frodo finds that unexpected courage, remembers Tom's rhyme.
Oh, Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo.
And Tom arrives again, but then warns them, out east my knowledge fails. Tom is not master of riders from the Blackland.
That's such a crucial moment. Even Tom has boundaries. They're truly on their own now.
And that feeling they have afterwards, that deep loneliness and sense of loss, it really marks their true departure from the Shire's innocence. They're in the wide world now.
So they travel on to Bree, this strange little place, an island in the empty lands where big folk and hobbits live side by side.
And the Bree hobbits look down on the Shire folk as colonists.
Ah, yeah, and it's at the Prancing Pony Inn where their Shire nature kind of trips them up again.
Oh, Pippin, telling stories about Bilbo's party, including the astonishing disappearance, draws all the wrong attention.
Leading Frodo to panic, sing a song, and then accidentally slip on the ring. Chaos.
Which brings Strider out of the shadows.
Right. He confronts Frodo immediately. Turns out he'd been watching them behind the hedge, heard them using the name Mr. Underhill.
He's clearly sharp. Been hunting many wild and wary things, he says. And he pegs Bill Ferny right away as that swarthy, sneering fellow who'd sell anything. He knows the dangers of the road.
And his identity is revealed so brilliantly through that delayed letter from Gandalf with the riddle.
All that is gold is not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. Fantastic.
And showing the broken sword Narsil shall be forged anew. It connects this rough ranger right back to the ancient kings, Just goosebumps.
It's a masterclass in building suspense and revelation.
Then Strider explains the Black Riders. Chilling stuff. How they don't see light like we do, just shadows in their minds.
And that they're worse in the dark, drawn by the ring, smelling the blood of living things. It sets up Weathertop perfectly.
That attack is terrifying. Frodo's cry, "Oh, Elbereth, Gilthaniel," that burst of courage stabbing the rider.
But he gets wounded. The Morgul knife.
Mm.
And the splinter stays in him, slowly turning him into a wraith. Half in the wraith world yourself.
It's not just physical, it's a spiritual wound, making that race to Rivendell absolutely desperate.
And then Glorfindel arrives, an elf lord sent by Elrond. His speed on Asphaleth is incredible.
That chase to the ford of Bruin. Wow. And the flood washing away the riders' horses orchestrated by Elrond and Gandalf. Shows the power of the free peoples working together.
Even if the riders themselves cannot be so easily destroyed. A grim reminder.
So Frodo wakes up in Rivendell. He'd almost faded completely. 17 days that wound was working on him.
And here we meet the big players properly. Elrond, ageless. Gandalf, like a wise king. Glorfindel, tall, golden-haired. You feel the power and history in that place.
But there are more shocks. Gandalf tells his story captured by Saruman the White.
Yeah, Saruman trying to tempt him. Join me. Wield the ring for knowledge, rule, order. Control the new power.
It shows how seductive that power is, even for the wise. And Saruman mocking Radagast the Brown, Radagast the bird tamer, such contempt.
Gandalf's escape, thanks to Goyher the Eagle, also brings news. The Nine are abroad, and Gollum has escaped too. Everything is converging.
Which leads to the Council of Elrond. Glowing the Dwarf reports Sauron is asking about hobbits. Suddenly, Frodo's small people are right at the center of things.
And Boromir arrives from Gondor, driven by his dream about Isildur's bane. The ring and the halfling forth shall stand.
He talks about Gondor's valor, the bulwark of the West, but admits the nameless enemy has arisen again. You can feel the pressure he's under.
Then Elrond lays out the history. Isildur taking the ring, failing to destroy it. It all leads to the one inescapable conclusion.
The ring can't be hidden, it can't be used, it's too dangerous.
That temptation to wield it against Sauron is powerful but ultimately corrupting.
So it has to be unmade, thrown back into Mount Doom.
And then who steps up? Bilbo. Bilbo, the silly hobbit, started this affair, and Bilbo better finish it. So brave.
But Gandalf gently turns him down. One beyond your strength, a task for someone else.
It's a touching moment. And then Frodo, feeling that great dread, but he steps forward anyway.
Elrond makes it clear, I do not lay it on you. But if you take it freely, I will say that your choice is right. It has to be his choice.
And then Sam, who'd crept into the council, just pipes up. He's going too. It is hardly possible to separate you from him.
And loyalty, it's just the core of it all.
And Merry and Pippin won't be left behind either. Elrond values their friendship rather than great wisdom.
So the Fellowship forms. Not an army, little gear of war, relying on secrecy not in battle. Only Aragorn has his reforged sword and Duril.
It's built on loyalty, friendship, shared purpose, not strength of arms.
Their departure from Rivendell is quite somber, isn't it? No songs, no music.
Said the gravity. And as they travel through Holland, Legolas hears the stones lamenting the lost elves. Aragorn feels a new watchfulness and a fear. The shadow is spreading.
Which leads them to try crossing the mountains at Caradhras, that mighty peak, dull red as if stained with blood.
And that blizzard hits them. Not just weather, the text says, but the ill will of Caradhras itself.
Gandalf shares Mirúvar, that elven cordial, to keep them going. Legolas scouting lightly on the snow. Boromir and Aragorn forcing a path shows their different strengths.
But they're beaten. They have to turn back, facing defeat.
Which forces the decision Gandalf dreaded, Moria, the Black Pit. Boromir argues against it fiercely.
But the Watcher in the Water attacks them right at the West Gate. Sort of settles the argument.
Pushes them inside. And those doors of Durin, amazing. Made of Ifildin, only visible by starlight or moonlight.
With the emblems Durin, the trees of the High Elves, and the riddle. Speak, friend, and enter. Gandalf finally realizing the password is melon, friend.
A moment of beauty before the darkness. Inside, it's long and dark. Frodo's senses are sharper because of his wound. He sees more. But the ring feels heavier.
And then Pippin. Oh, Pippin drops that stone down the well. Tom, tap, tap, Tom. That faint knocking.
Foolish, maybe, but it feels like innocence awakening something ancient and terrible.
They find Balin's tomb in the chamber of Mazarbul. And that book, the record of his colony. Arriving, finding Mithril, then orcs attacking. Ending in disaster. A grim warning.
And then the great noise, a rolling boom, they're found.
Orcs and a cave troll attack. Boromir fights bravely. Frodo, amazingly, cries the Shire and stabs the troll's foot with sting.
And his mithril shirt saves him. That gift from Bilbo, worth more than the Shire, stops an orc chieftain's spear.
Aragorn kills the chieftain, but Gandalf stays behind to hold the door. Uses a shutting spell, feels something that I have not met before.
The Balrog.
Yes, the orcs cry, "Gosh, fire!" He fights it on the bridge and falls. "Fly, you fools!"
His sacrifice is devastating. The company escapes, weeping, hearing those drums fade. Doom, doom.
That loss changes everything.
Yep.
Aragorn has to take charge. We must do without hope. At least we may yet be avenged. Grim leadership.
They pause at Mirror in Dimril Dale. Gimli tells the story of Durin seeing the stars reflected. A moment of sad beauty.
Then into Lothlorien, the Golden Wood. But there's immediate tension. Haldir and the Elven Sentinels are wary.
Especially of Gimli, the dwarf. They have to be blindfolded because of the estrangement that divides even those fighting Sauron. Shows how deep the mistrust runs.
Haldir explains Lorien is like an island amid many perils. The shadow has crept all around.
They reach Seren Amroth, the heart of the ancient realm. Those strange winter flowers, Eleanor and Nifredil. Frodo feels like he's in a timeless land.
And seeing Aragorn there, among the flowers, Frodo glimpses him as a young elf lord. Aragorn confirms it, remembering Arwen. Here is the heart of elfendom on earth, and here my heart dwells ever. It's deeply personal, revealing his own connection to this place.
Then they meet Celeborn and Lady Galadriel. She knows their quest instantly, but we will not hear speak of it more openly. You feel her immense power and knowledge.
Which leads to the mirror. Sam, curious about elf magic, looks in, hoping for news from home.
And sees devastation. Bagshot Road dug up, trees falling, a terrifying glimpse of the future, the scouring. Galadriel warns him the mirror is dangerous as a guide of deeds.
Then Frodo looks, the mirror goes dark, and then that eye, rimmed with fire, yellow as a cat's, searching for him. The ring grows heavy, like a stone.
He resists touching the water. It's a real struggle. And Galadriel reveals she fights that same battle constantly. She perceives Sauron's mind groping ever to see me in my thought, but still the door is closed.
It shows the immense pressure she's under, the constant vigilance required.
As they leave, the gifts she gives are so significant. Aragorn gets the Elfstone, the Ulisar, confirming his kingly destiny, and a sheath for Andúril. The blade that is drawn from this sheath shall not be stained or broken.
Wow.
And Frodo gets the phial, containing the light of Arendil's star. Light to shine in dark places. Practical magic, but also deeply symbolic.
These aren't just farewell presents, they're tools, acknowledgments of their roles.
Their departure feels like leaving a dream. Lorien was slipping backward like a bright ship, sailing on to forgotten shores. Frodo reflects on the strange time there, a time that has elsewhere long gone by. Back to the harsh world.
And back on the river Anduin, the danger immediately returns. That soft plashing and a sniffing noise at night.
Gollum, pale lamp-like eyes, he's following them. Drawn by the ring, its influence reaches far.
Then the orc attack at Sarngubir. Frodo's mithril coat saves him again. Legolas shoots down that winged-shaped Nazgul on its fell beast.
Probably. They have to carry the boats around the rapids. Hard work. And then they see them, the Argonath.
Those giant statues of Isildur and Anarion, standing like sentinels. And passing between them, Aragorn seems transformed, a king returning from exile to his own land.
Another powerful visual of his destiny. They reach the lake, Nen Hithol, just before the Falls of Rauros, and this is where it happens, the breaking point.
Boromir. He pulls Frodo aside. His heart is heavy. He argues, pleads, really, to use the ring. It is mad not to use it, to drive the hosts of Mordor.
He wants that power of command. You see the ring working on him, twisting his noble desire to protect his people.
It's tragic. He's a good man, under unbearable pressure. But Frodo sees clearly, we cannot use it, and what is done with it turns to evil.
That clarity, combined with his fear, pushes him. He has to go. Alone. I must go now or I shall never go.
It's an incredibly brave but lonely decision. But then...
Sam. He figures it out, races down to the boats. It is plain that we were meant to go together. He won't let Frodo face it alone.
That simple, unwavering loyalty. It's the perfect counterpoint to the ring's power to corrupt and isolate.
So Frodo and Sam slip away in a boat, heading for the eastern shore towards Mordor, leaving the others the Fellowship broken. A moment of immense courage, sacrifice, and uncertainty.
And a recognition that this burden ultimately falls on the smallest shoulders. Shared, yes, but still unimaginably heavy.
Wow, what an incredible journey just in this first volume. We've really gone deep, haven't we? Past the plot into Tolkien's craft, the Hobbit's surprising role, the rise of evil, the bonds and breaks of the Fellowship.
We really have. And connecting it all, you see how these details, a corrected word, a birthday custom, a moment of fear or loyalty, they all build this incredibly rich, coherent world. Courage pops up where you least expect it.
So, thinking about all this, in a world where even the wise, like Saruman, can fall, and the strong, like Boromir, can be tempted, what does it really take to move the wheels of the world?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Is it grand power, like Gandalf's or Galadriel's, or is it something quieter? Is it those small hands doing what they must, simply because they must, while the eyes of the great are elsewhere? Something to really chew on, far beyond Middle-earth.
It absolutely is. That quiet, persistent determination often makes the biggest difference.
Indeed. Well, until next time, keep diving deep.